What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. I have been swallowed by my dragon. Can somebody explain this? I don't know what the hell is going on here, but he won't get off my back, all right? He's done with me riding him. It is his turn to ride me. Now, I can't quite fly like he can, so it's significantly slower, noticeably slower, the trips that we're having together. But, you know, it is what it is. I don't even know how this happened. I think if we just resummon him, it'll fix it. Ah, there we go. Back to the way it should be. He's had a long enough break. We're good now. We're going to talk about Ele Shaman. I want to talk about the Windspeaker build. I'm going to show you footage from a Dark Heart Thicket that I ran. I've run quite a few dungeons so far already. I did a 19, a Tal Dazar. We've done 18s and 17s. And I'm trying to get all the way up there on the Shaman. We're doing well. But what I want to talk about is a couple of really important mechanics for Elemental Shaman in particular. So things like how Windspeakers kind of works and why it's so good. Why this is the go-to talent that most Elemental Shamans are picking over Skybreakers. Even though I just did a video on Skybreakers, I think it's a good talent. I want to explain why Windspeakers is sort of the one that people are picking. Excuse me. I want to talk about the importance of your Lava Surge procs with Primordial Wave, not to override how many Lava Surge procs you have going. I want to talk about Liquid Magma Totem, okay? When to use it, when to refresh it, when you don't need to use it. I've heard a lot of complaints in the YouTube comments being like, I never have any damage on an AoE pack when I don't have Liquid Magma Totem. And that's a true statement. I understand that. But there are ways in which you want to use this thing and when to refresh it. It's really important. Sometimes there's packs that are only, 3 mobs big. And in that particular case, you don't necessarily have to use your Liquid Magma Totem. Maybe you want to save it for the pack that's coming up after. Let me get out of this single target build. That's my bad. This is the correct build. I was doing some raid stuff in like a more single target build, so I was running that. Last thing I'm going to talk about is Ascendance procs with DRE and what to do when you get an Ascendance proc. What you kind of should be doing there. So let's dive right into the Dark Heart Thicket. Before I do, here is the damage that we had right here, 17. So we did 130 overall without an Augvoker. It's not bad. Everybody did pretty good damage here. Here's what your damage profile is going to look like. Lots of Lava Burst, Chain Lightning. I'm running Elemental Blast, and again, the most common build right now is a build that involves Earth Shock and does not take Elemental Blast. And while I think that that's okay, there's nothing wrong with that at all, and I'm going to have to start trying to use that build and get used to the way that it kind of operates. I do think that Elemental Blast provides you with a certain amount of damage that you might not otherwise have on Tyrannical weeks in particular. And I run it with Surge of, not with Surge of Power. Excuse me. Let me just jump back to my talents. I'll just show you this one last thing I want to talk about. I don't run Surge of Power. Instead, I run Aftershock with Elemental Blast to ensure that if I get those resets, I can just get another cast of it and another Lava Burst comes out as well. With these builds, you're always trying to cast Lava Burst as many times as you possibly can because of Rolling Magma. That's how the whole thing works, right? That's how the whole thing works. It's Lava Burst, Lava Burst, Lava Burst, which is why a lot of people just take Earth Shock because it costs less Maelstrom. You can cast it more often. I understand the reasoning there, but I am going to just make a little bit of a case for how good I think Elemental Blast can be and how much damage it can help provide you on Tyrannical weeks in particular. It's really, really strong. Where's my heal? So, yeah, we'll push forward here. One of the most important things that you need to think about when you get an Ascendance proc like this, I just got one right now. What you want to do when you get an Ascendance proc is press Lava Burst over and over and over again, because when you're in Ascendance, you get an unlimited number of Lava Bursts. Look, it doesn't go down when I cast it. It doesn't go down. Now, once you leave Lava Burst, you only have once you leave Ascendance, you only have 2 charges of Lava Burst. And then you have to find ways of getting them back with, like, Windspeakers, of course, right? Or with Lava Surge procs. But when you get an Ascendance proc, you have infinite Lava Bursts. As fast as you can cast is as fast as they will keep coming out. And that will keep lowering the cooldown of Primordial Wave. So whenever Ascendance procs, you really want to be pressing Lava Burst as much as you can so that it reduces the cooldown of Primordial Wave. It's also just going to do more damage, right? Which is really, really good. When you're in Ascendance, if you didn't know, your Lava Burst gains damage equal to your critical strike chance. So my critical strike chance is only like 20% or something. But my lava bursts inside of Ascendance are doing 20% more damage. That's not insignificant, right? So it's actually, the value of crit is still actually pretty good in this build because you are in Ascendance so much that, and you're always critting because your flame shocks are on the enemies, right? Whenever a lava burst hits an enemy that's flame shocked, you get a crit. So again, I got another Ascendance proc here. Let me just back up one second to show this. But when you're in that Ascendance, you're always getting that extra damage because that's what it does based on your critical strike chance. Watch this here. I'm going to get an Ascendance proc, and my Primordial Wave is going to come off cooldown. It's like 5, 4, 3 there. It just came off cooldown right there. The only exception to the Lava Burst rule during Ascendance, so even if you're capping Maelstrom, you're still pressing Lava Burst inside of Ascendance over and over again. The only exception to this rule is if Primordial Wave comes back. You want to press Primordial Wave, then keep pressing Lava Burst, because Lava Burst cools down Primordial Wave, right? So if your Primordial Wave comes off cooldown, you need to press it. So I'm in Ascendance right here. I press my Primordial Wave, and then I keep pressing my Ascendance procs. I lose a couple of seconds maybe there. Maybe one. I might have lost one Lava Burst cast there, but generally speaking, if you proc Ascendance, you press Lava Burst. If Primordial Wave is up in that window, you need to press it as well, because all the subsequent Lava Bursts that come out are going to give you cooldown reduction on that Primordial Wave. That's what you're looking for, right? Big time. This is a big pull here. We get to pop AG and heal everybody. You can see the cats are jumping on people. Look, I have a cat debuff on me right now, but because I have Ancestral Guidance, I'm about to pop it. I'll heal myself to full right here. Me and Rich will get healed to full here. Ding, 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 ding. Boom, boom, boom. Topped up right there, and that gets rid of those cat debuffs. So really important, actually. There's really good moments to use Ancestral Guidance, depending on whether you have cooldowns up, if the AoE pack's really, really big. There's great moments when you want to be using it there. Of course, we had Liquid Magma Totem here, which is why we were able to pump out a good amount of damage at the beginning. Keep in mind, I don't have 4 set yet. For Shaman, I only have 2 set. So our AoE damage actually goes down a little bit. Once you get 4 set, your AoE damage is going to go up quite a bit, which is awesome. Here's a pack here where I have Liquid Magma Totem, but I don't have Totemic Recall because I have already used Totemic Recall. And I want to talk about Liquid Magma Totem for a second here. I'm going to use my Liquid Magma Totem right here on this pack. Okay, I'm going to drop it, and I can't refresh my Liquid Magma Totem, unfortunately, because I don't have Totemic Recall. But that's okay, because I know that the next pack that's coming up is 2 big bears. So it's not a big AoE pack. We're forced to fight 2 big mobs, and there's lots of moments in lots of dungeons when you are forced to do this, when you can't progress to the next area of the map without first fighting like a pack of 2 mobs or a pack of 3, maybe 4 mobs at a time. And so in that particular case, it's okay to not have your Liquid Magma Totem because it's not going to do that much more damage for you, and you don't need to spread 6 Flame Shocks. You only need to spread 2 of them. So in this case here, I'm just Flame Shocking one of these guys, and I am pressing Primordial Wave on the other, and then I get a really sick Ascendance proc here with my Stormkeeper coming back up. This is one of the other really cool combos. If your Stormkeeper is coming off cooldown, and you've been casting Lava Burst for quite a while without getting a proc, there's a really good chance you're going to get a proc. And if you're in Ascendance, your big Chain Lightning turns into Lava Beam, and it will overload, right? So here we go. I have Ascendance right now. I press Stormkeeper, and now my next 2 Lava Beams are guaranteed to overload. Watch how much damage I do here. I'm doing 140k right now. Watch my damage spike. 160, 180k, just like that, because of those big lava beams. So it's another interesting combo to look out for. It's not something that you're going to be able to pull off all the time. It's basically just like, if you're doing your regular combo and you're pressing Lava Burst over and over and over again, there's a really good chance you're going to trigger Ascendance. And if you do trigger Ascendance, press that Stormkeeper and get those 2 really juicy lava beams off. They're going to do a lot of damage for you. Here's the first boss, Archdruid Galadius, whatever his name is. This is a single target fight. This is a case where I want to show you really quickly about not overriding your Lava Surge. Right now, I have 2 charges of Lava Burst, okay? They're ready to go. If I press Primordial Wave right off the rip, it's going to give me a free Lava Surge proc. It'll refresh the cooldown of Lava Burst and make it instant cast. That'll be completely wasted if I do it on pull, because I already have 2 charges ready to go. So I want to spend one of my charges of Lava Burst first, Then I want to press Primordial Wave and get the free proc. So watch this. We go Ele, I go Lava Burst into a Flame Shock. Okay. Then I press Primordial Wave. Now I have one charge that's recharging. Now I press Primordial Wave. It gives me that Lava Surge proc, and we're off to the races. So it's a little detail, but over the course of a dungeon, if you keep messing that up, you're going to actually miss out on a lot of free damage, and you're going to be just missing a lot of the efficiency of how to play this thing. If you want to get better at playing Ele Shaman, this is one of the key things you need to do, right? Make sure you're doing your liquid magma totems correctly. Make sure that you're pressing Lava Burst in Ascendance. Make sure that you do not override your 2 charges that you already have of Lava Burst. Spend one of those charges first, then get the free Lava Surge proc from your Ele Blast or Earth Shock, when you press Primordial Wave, it sends out the Ele Blast. It procs Wind Speakers. It gives you that free charge, right? So just be very careful that you don't do that incorrectly, or else you're just going to be really inefficient, and it's going to eventually, by the end of the dungeon, if you've messed it up, 10, 20, 30 times, it'll start to really show. You're really going to start to notice that. We get through that boss fight. We get to the next pack of mobs. Here's, again, another liquid magma totem moment. I know that I have my totemic recall ready to go at the bottom here, so I don't know if Joe's going to keep pulling here. I thought he was going to keep pulling, but he's not. So I dropped my liquid magma totem to get some damage going right now, and then I can totemic recall it. I should have totemic recalled right away, but I didn't. I waited, which was a mistake. I wasted like 30 seconds there, so don't do what I just did. Use totemic recall right away to get your liquid magma totem back. Then we're going to kill this pack. We're going to move to the next pack. Now I press totemic recall down here. Watch me. I press it there. I should have pressed it 30 seconds ago. But, again, I get it for the next pack. So now we have it from pack to pack, and this is a really great thing. This is what you can basically get all the time. And I get a big Ascendance proc, which gives us a bunch of extra damage, which is awesome. I do have to move here. Okay? Then I'm just doing my regular rotation. But that's really good. Again, for Liquid Magma Totem, this is kind of what you're looking for. Now, on this next pack, I don't have Liquid Magma Totem at all, and I can't recall it. So we're just kind of naked right now. But again, it's only 3 mobs, so we can easily spread 3 Flame Shocks and get the most efficient damage we can possibly get on this pull. These are the kinds of pulls where you can actually become like a specialist, I think, as an Ele Shaman. And it's going to get way better once we get our 4-piece bonus going. It's going to get way, way better. Sometimes you get packs like this, packs of 4, which is kind of inefficient. It kind of sucks because some of the best classes in the game, of course, have like uncapped AoE, and they want to pull like massive pulls. But sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you're stuck doing pulls like this. Or for the average player playing the game, this is how you're going to pull this dungeon, and it's perfectly fine to pull the dungeon this way. So only having 4 targets to hit is actually perfect for Ele Shaman. It's really, really good because you don't necessarily have to have Liquid Magma Totem up and ready to go. You can go Flame Shock, Primordial Wave, 3rd Flame Shock, and then as you get the fight going, you put that 4th Flame Shock in there. It's actually good. Our damage is going to be really high. Our 3-target cleave damage is going to be really high once we get the 3 to 4 target cleave actually is going to be really, really high once we get the 4-piece bonus going. So don't be discouraged. Again, here's another 3-pack. We probably want to bring these actually down if we could, but we're just going to stay here and kill them, and easy enough to do there. Here's the guys here. You want to make sure that you're kicking these as much as possible. Use your kick. Use your in-cap totem, or sorry, your capacitor totem. Use that twice. That'll go off twice, which is really good. And then the other thing you can do is you can knock these guys up, or you can knock them back with Thunderstorm. I have the knock back variation because I find that really valuable on different dungeons, especially like Everbloom, for example. So I end up knocking these guys back here to stop the Tormented Eye. It ends up kind of pushing them out of the way, which is not ideal, but it interrupts them from fearing people. That's the most important thing you want to do there. Here comes Oakheart. One interesting thing for Ele Shaman on Oakheart is that he will spawn ads, not these things. These plants don't, these turn into ads later, but you can actually Flame Shock one of these plants, which is really weird. It has to be in front of me. I end up Flame Shocking this guy over here. Now, having 2 Flame Shocks up for this fight is actually really important. It's really important to your damage because it will proc. It has twice the chance of procking your Lava Surge for your Lava Burst. So anytime you can get a 2nd Flame Shock up, it's really, really good. As soon as these ads spawn, you want to be able to drop your Liquid Magma Totem. Now, I didn't have it ready, and I forgot to Totemic Recall. That's actually a mistake from me. That's a pretty big mistake. but I was just popping off with an Ascendance proc there. Again, I was choosing to do Lava Beam to try and deal with the ads for my Ascendance proc there. You can kind of do whichever one you want. Typically, it's always almost better to press Lava Burst. But again, I have 2 Flame Shocks up here. Try to keep 2 Flame Shocks up for this entire fight, and you will get way more Lava Surge procs. You're kind of cheating a little bit there. You're kind of cheating, but that's just, you're just using the enemies that are in front of you, and that's really the best way to do it. And then for the uproot, when he does it right here, he spawns a bunch of ads. This time I have Liquid Magma Totem ready to go. I'm going to put that right down here, and I'm going to do my Stormkeeper. Now I have multiple Flame Shocks going, and I got an Ascendance proc at the same time, which made our damage really, really high right there. I start getting munched on because I was pulling aggro there. So that's how you want to manage this fight. Always have 2 Flame Shocks up for this fight. Whenever the ads spawn, you can get even more, and you'll get lots of, it'll let you cast Lava Burst more, which is going to let you do more damage, and it's going to proc Ascendance more, which is really all you're looking for, right? That's always what you're looking for with this build. Try to proc Ascendance as much as you possibly can. We get through these guys. Remember, when these big guys die, you want to make sure that you kill all the little things that spawn. And then for this last one, he patrols here. Little tip for you guys. He always patrols far to the left, and you can actually skip him if you want to, and we choose to do it here. So this is always a good idea, especially on Fortified Week, which will be coming up next week. I would just skip that guy every single time. He's super annoying. This boss, I completely mess up what I do here, but really the mobility of Elemental Shaman is going to shine in this fight, and this is where an Earth Shock build would be way better than my Elemental Blast build, because Earth Shock is instant cast, and then it gives you a Windspeaker proc, which is going to give you an instant cast Lava Burst, and instead of getting pushed back like I am right here, I do get a Lava Burst, but look, I can cast my LE Blast, but I can't cast it because I have to constantly be moving forward. I chose also not to use Spiritwalker's Grace, which was a big mistake there. And then I chose to use Nature's Swiftness after he was done pushing me back. Like, I just completely butchered this fight. I really messed it up. And the way that you want to maximize your damage here is by using that Nature's Swiftness, use your Spiritwalker's Grace. And honestly, if you were running the Windspeakers build with Earth Shock as opposed to LE Blast, you would be able to do probably a lot more damage on this fight. So now I cast Spiritwalker's Grace. I recover a little bit on this round, which is good. I can cast while moving, but I definitely butchered this fight in a big way. Don't make these kinds of mistakes. This is partly why I make these videos for you guys. I want to show you, what's good and what's bad to do on these fights. If you want to maximize your damage, if you want it to be really good, try not to make the same mistakes that I'm making here. So, yeah, we're doing more damage here. Finally, on this last pushback, I end up, I think, just trying to get I do my little leap forward here. There we go. I leap forward with Gust of Wind, which is really good. That buys you time to be able to try and get a couple of DPS spells in. But generally speaking, this build doesn't work as well unless you have Earth Shock versus LE Blast. So just something to look at there. We do finish that boss fight at 95k. Not terrible, but we could have done way better. Last couple of trash packs here. I use Liquid Magma Totem here twice, I think. So I used it once already, and I'm going to recall it, and then I'm going to use it on these bats, and then I'm not going to have it for the final pull. So we're going to do a lot of damage on these pulls here. I also have Stormkeeper, so I'm going to use that as well, just to get as much damage as we can. I get a Lava Beam one as well. That's a lot of damage, which is great. And then I'm kind of all out of resources for this last pull. I don't have Liquid Magma Totem. All I have is my Primordial Wave. So if you're in this kind of situation, just press one Flame Shock into one Primordial Wave and just go. It's okay to do it that way because the baseline Splintered Elements haste buff that you get is now 20%, and then it's plus 4% per target that has Flame Shock on them. So if you only have 2 targets, you're still going to get 28% more haste when you do this, which is good enough. You don't want to wait around too long or else you're literally going to do no damage at all. You can see it on the details meters here. I'm doing very, very little damage. I'm under the tank. So it's okay, though. The last 2 pulls that we had before this one, I was cranking damage. I was at the top of the meters. So just always keep that in mind. Don't be discouraged by these kinds of pulls. Sometimes you have literally no cooldowns whatsoever, and it means that you're just not going to be able to do that much damage. So here we go. Shade of Xavius. Oh, my voice is going. Sorry. This fight really relies on you having your mobility. Again, Nature's Swiftness and Spiritwalker's Grace. You need to use those correctly and you will end up doing lots of damage on this fight. I mess it up a little bit. Again, this is something I am learning how to do. I'm not very good at it yet, but I will get there. I have the paranoia on me, so I need to be careful that I don't get near anybody else, or else if they walk into me, I'm going to get feared. This ends up happening, I think. Somebody was trying to get rid of their entangling. Right there. I think Sprungy, like, leaped in, but again, that's not his fault. It's not. I should have went to the left. I actually should have moved away from my team. He was just trying to get at him of his entangling, and he ends up fearing me. So my damage drops off a little bit there. But again, that's actually my fault. I need to be the one to move away from everybody else. Just keep that in mind. If you have that paranoia on you, that's what you need to be doing. And then we end up getting the transition here where he does a lot of damage to everybody, and then we start getting stars falling all the time, which is very annoying. There's growing paranoia, feed on the weak. He does it at a 50%, I think, right here. Here we go. Apocalyptic Nightmare. So when this is happening, you want to pop your defensive. I pop Ancestral Guidance as well to help my team out because he does a lot of damage. And then for the rest of the fight, these stars keep falling onto the ground. Those swirlies right there, those will one-shot you on Tyrannical. They'll actually even one-shot you on Fortified, I think. So make sure you save your lust for this moment and then go. Now, I have Paranoia on me again. Remember also, every single time that you press Primordial Wave, it ends up being a movement GCD because you're going to press Lava Burst right after the fact, right? And same with pressing Elemental Blast. You're going to press Lava Burst right after the fact. That's going to give you one GCD where you can move. Now, again, the Earth Shock build would, I think, be much better. I think it'd be much better on this fight because then I could just move. With every single Earth Shock cast, I can move because it's instant, right? So I can dodge into these stars rather than losing damage just walking. Right now, I'm just kind of losing damage walking. I will pop Spirit Walker's Grace here in a second to just to give myself some extra damage. I've got it running right now. Bunch of stars keep falling. I end up being able to dodge like this one right there. I can dodge that one. And then another one I think falls near me. I'm able to dodge away from that one. And it allows you, again, there's the last one right there. I get to move out of that one and keep doing damage. So you want to use your instant cast procs. Use Earth Shock if you're using it, but make sure you use Nature Swiftness and Spirit Walker's Grace. Those are going to save you in those moments and allow you to do lots and lots of damage. There's the overall 130k. We were under the just under the Druid there. And that's how that works. So, yeah. I wanted to just talk a little bit about why Windspeakers is really good. What sort of makes this really, really strong is that it keeps giving you those Lava Surge procs. So you can keep pressing Lava Burst so that you can keep doing damage with Lava Burst, of course, but also you can lower the cooldown of Primordial Wave. That's really what you're doing. But just remember, guys, those little notes that I was talking about, Lava Surge procs, make sure that you don't spend your Primordial Wave before you get rid of one of these charges of Lava Burst. That's very, very important. Also, make sure your Liquid Magma Totem, you got to use it and use Totemic Recall on cooldown to get that sucker back. And if you don't have any Liquid Magma Totem, it's okay. Just do one Flame Shock into one Primordial Wave and just go. Just send it. That'll give you 28% haste. It's good enough. Just get your damage rolling or else, the pack's going to be dead. And then when you get into your Ascendance proc, finally, make sure you're pressing Lava Burst over and over and over again so that you can continue to cool down your Primordial Wave with Rolling Magma. You have that little opportunity. Make sure you take it. The only other thing I would suggest is if you get an Ascendance proc and you have Stormkeeper ready to go, that's a really good moment to get some juicy Lava Beams out there and do a lot of damage with Lava Beam. You can see my Lava Beam Overload didn't do too much damage, but I didn't cast it that many times, so it actually does a lot of damage for the amount of times I cast it. So there you go, guys. There's some tips and tricks for you guys who are trying to get better at Ele Shaman and some reasoning as to why people are taking Windspeakers these days. I do think it's really good. I'm going to get rid of my Elemental Blast and put it into Echo Chamber. That's where most people are putting it. And I'm going to start practicing with Earth Shock and give you guys probably another video soon on how good this kind of feels to me, whether I like Earth Shock more than Ele Blast, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much again for watching, guys. I love you all. Drop a comment down below about this video. Anything you want to ask me, anything you want to talk about, please. I'd love to talk to you down there. I will see you guys in the next one.